Good afternoon, my Real News Midday TV family. Welcome back to the channel for another news update. And in the news this afternoon, Mobe's Kahalia with defendants to return to court next year. The trial involving 16 members of the controversial Montego Bay-based Kahalia religious group has been postponed to February 7 next year following the absence of their attorney during a scheduled appearance in the St. James Parish Court yesterday. Presiding Parish Judge Keisha Grant Price set the new date after being informed by attorney-at-law Michael Hemmings that the King's Counsel Peter Champagny, representing the defendants, was unable to attend the hearing. The accused Javon Thompson, Omar Thompson, Christopher Anderson, Nikisha Harding, Derek Clark, Elisa Meadley, Fabian Nelson, Francine Paris, Jodian Spence, Jose Foskin, Oral Spence, Rayon Letman, Ingrid Williams, Vera Woodley, Melisha Thompson, and Ronalie Maitland had their bails extended. The group is on trial for alleged breaches of the Child Care and Protection Act and the Education Act stemming from a police raid on their compound in Paradise, Norwood, St. James on June 30, 2023. That operation followed a prior raid weeks earlier, during which 23 children aged 1 to 17 were removed from the premises and placed in state care. The children taken into custody during the June 30 operation were released from state care on November 17, 2023. Some were reunited with their parents, while others were placed in the care of relatives. Since the trial began on April 8 this year, 4 prosecution witnesses, including 3 officers from the Child Protection and the Family Services Agency and a former member of the Kahalia group, have testified. 3 additional prosecution witnesses are expected to testify when the trial resumes in February. During the last court session on November 22, a CPFSA officer testified about the living conditions at the compound on the day of the June 7, 2023 raid. She described the cramped, unhygienic conditions, including fly-infested food, small rooms crowded with bunk beds, and an unclean bathroom. She also reported seeing 2 pregnant teenagers at the premises and observed a man feeding both the children and adults with a single large spoon. On the same day, a former Kahalia member testified under cross-examination by Champagny. She admitted to previously describing the group as very nice in her statement to the police. In earlier testimony on June 26, she had recounted living conditions at the compound before the June 7 raid, revealing that her family and the 2 other families shared a single room. The Kahalia group has faced scrutiny before. In 2019, police removed 6 children, including a pregnant 16-year-old, from the compound between October 31 and November 5. At the time, the group was under investigation for alleged child marriages, human trafficking, abduction, child abuse, and sexual assault. Lawmaker wants a legal opinion on fees once charged for dormant bank accounts. Opposition lawmaker Fitz Jackson is pushing for a legal opinion from Jamaica's Attorney General on whether the imposition of fees by commercial banks on customers' dormant accounts constitutes a breach of the banking laws. Despite the removal of the fees by commercial banks in 2018, Jackson on Thursday pressed for the Economic and the Production Committee of Parliament to make a formal request to the Attorney General to offer an opinion on the matter. It is no longer being charged, but it has been charged, and if it is a breach of the law, it would constitute an illegally collected fee. It would constitute an ill-gotten gain, and then the BOJ would have to determine how the persons so affected are going to be compensated, Jackson argued during a meeting of the committee at the Gordon House. He added that the imposition of the fees was withdrawn only after he threatened to take legal action against the banks on the issue of dormant fees. Obviously, their legal advisors would have pointed out their vulnerability, Jackson reasoned. Jackson contended that the issue should not be swept under the proverbial carpet on the basis that the banks had stopped charging fees on dormant bank accounts. He is insisting that the numerous account holders who were impacted in the past should have an opportunity to receive justice for the alleged wrong that was done to them. To do nothing is tantamount to a situation where if a man was robbing a grocery store every week for the past 4 years, but he stopped robbing it now, he would have stolen $10 million over the period, and because he stops now does not mean that he is okay, he said. He made it clear that it was the job of legislators to protect the public's interest and to ensure that the institutions of the state acted to safeguard the rights of Jamaicans. Member of Parliament for St. Andrew Western, Anthony Hilton, who is also a member of the Economy and the Production Committee, echoed similar sentiments as Jackson, saying it is entirely appropriate for the Parliament to seek a definitive legal opinion on the matter. He said depending on the decision by the Attorney General, the Parliament, through the committee, would have to determine the appropriate steps going forward to plug what he believes is a loophole in the law. In his remarks, Committee Chairman Dwight Sibley's said he was not averse to seeking an opinion from the Attorney General regarding the legality of the then imposition of bank fees for dormant accounts. All members of this House are here to protect the interest of the public, and we would love to hear the opinion, he said. Lyncett man who led a police on chase pleads guilty to stealing goats. A Lyncett St. Catherine man on Friday pleaded guilty in the parish court to larceny over the theft of 4 goats. 32-year-old Lincoln Gordon was further remanded for sentencing on February 7 next year. He was ordered by Parish Court Judge Janelle Nelson Gale to submit his fingerprints. The facts are that on November 26, Gordon and another man, who remains at large, stole 4 goats along the Barry Main Road in St. Catherine. The police were alerted and the Toyota Probox car they were traveling in was intercepted. However, the vehicle eluded the police and subsequently crashed. Gordon and his accomplice escaped. The 2 men later stopped a taxi and boarded it, with Gordon in the trunk and his accomplice sitting in the back seat. The police subsequently caught up with the taxi and intercepted it. The driver disembarked from the taxi and Gordon was accosted. His accomplice reportedly jumped into the driver's seat of the taxi and drove off. Gordon was later charged with larceny and robbery with aggravation, with the latter charge being withdrawn by the prosecution. Designated vending spaces clearly outlined in downtown Kingston, says the mayor. Mayor of Kingston, Councillor Andrew Swaby, has informed that designated vending spaces have now been clearly outlined along Beckford, Princess and Haywood streets in downtown Kingston. A major outcome of this reorganization is the significant improvement in the flow of vehicular traffic. Previously, overcrowded streets made it difficult for vehicles to navigate, leading to congestion and posing safety issues for both the drivers and the pedestrians, Mayor of Kingston Andrew Swaby said. He was addressing a press conference at the KSAMC's offices in downtown Kingston on Thursday. With the streets now cleared and the vending spaces properly outlined, more vehicles can pass through these areas without obstruction, reducing traffic jams and creating a safer environment for everyone. This improvement is a step forward in ensuring that downtown Kingston is more organized, the mayor said. Meanwhile, he pointed out that overcrowded and unsightly areas are being addressed through a special project led by the City Inspector's Department with support from the National Solid Waste Management Authority and the Markets Department of the corporation. He noted too that the KSAMC is committed to maintaining public order, enhancing safety, and keeping the city clean and welcoming for everyone, adding that this includes putting in place improved logistical systems to manage the season's heightened activity. As we approach this festive time of year, we know the downtown area will become even busier with vendors, business operators, and shoppers. To support this increased activity, we are implementing critical measures to ensure that activities within the business district operate smoothly, safely, and efficiently, the mayor said. Guys, thank you for watching. See you this evening at 6 p.m. for another news update.